Good evening. Um, I I feel like I'm not going to be able to go to sleep without getting this out. Um, yeah. Sometimes I don't know where to start. Um, today today just has just been like monumental for me. Going into the new year is it just feels magnificent, and I know that probably sounds quite strange after the other videos that I've done. So I did a reading today, and it's probably been my favourite reading that I've ever done for lots of different reasons. But um, I realised in that moment so much of my journey, so much of what I'm meant to teach, so much of what I've learned, so much of life, so much of disease, so much of conflict, and so much of people suffering is so much about power. And I I just realized it all in the most wonderful conversation, how much we rely on this winning or losing sort of balance in our minds about you know how just the winning and losing. And when I was driving home, I was thinking about um, my next door neighbour from my previous property. Like, honestly, one of the most amazing women that I've ever met. And she always left me with like a parting like sentence that would always stick with me, as if it was like that I needed to put it into the mental bank to use. And one of the things that came up today was she was saying that every relationship is power, and it's like, and every relationship is based on power. Like, one person has to be in power, or one person has to be believe that they're in power at some point. And I was like, today it just seemed so poignant today, and so many things fell into place. And I want to share it with you because it's really unlocked so much for me, in regards to more things that I can teach. It's like it was just a big key that turned and was like, oh my God, I feel like I've gone into a whole new space, more information, and just like, and with every new room that I go into of all this information and like new learning, and it's like I realize how far I've come. Like, I'm starting to realize like how magical the process is. And yeah, just it's just crazy, 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 crazy. And going going back to the power, like we started off the conversation by saying like the teacher and the student, who is really like we were talking about, like me learning whilst I'm teaching, like that for me is, I learn just as much delivering the information and delivering what I've experienced. I'm always learning how to deliver better, how to talk better, watching every single change in energy exchange between me and that student tells me whether I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, and whether they're taking the information in, and different subtle changes in their body language and things can tell me so much about how I'm coming across. And and I ask for feedback, and to be critiqued almost. Like for me, ask questions. I just can't understand that you would sort of step into like this guru mode and everything. Like I just can't imagine not knowing. I know now. I know that I know nothing, and I every day is a school day. What we were saying today, that's like my favourite saying ever. Excuse me, I'm just trying to drink a herbal tea to try and calm me down. I've been like really rushing, sort of like this afternoon, like going through all the information and loads of stuff that's happened to me over the last like 10 years and things like that. And it just all comes down to this like internal struggle, this internal power. Like even what's happening to me at the moment, like with my son going to his dad's and them taking on to decide whether I'm going to see him. I felt so calm about it and so at peace with it. And trying to explain that to people is like, I know this has to happen for so many different reasons, and I'm taking the lesson gracefully because and the reason why and how I can do this is because I know that I've got to a place where I'm safe in myself, safe for other people. This is what I was saying in the other video, like my intention and my unconditional love for everybody, just everybody, not even everybody that's in my life at the moment, but just everybody, the unconditional love and every lesson that does come along, I now take it as the lesson, and I will sit diligently and learn the lesson. What is the lesson in this pain? What is the lesson that I am learning here? And in the time that I haven't had my son at home is the longest I've been without him, but I don't feel without him, if that makes sense. To me, the bond is so much more than physical. As I was saying in one of the other videos, it starts way before he's even conceived, so it's not going to just diminish him not seeing me for a few days. And in those few days, I've slept and I'm trying to find myself again, and I've managed to have a shower and read a book and start my business again and start making some money again. And I've realised just having that sleep and just having that quiet, that I can be a better mum, I can be a better friend, I can be a better person in society because I'm not completely drained and my nervous system is not completely fucked, and I'm rested and I'm calm. And honestly, the being able to hear my own thoughts has just been, I feel like I could cry. I feel like I just needed that space to find myself again. And I'm gonna read some of the letter that I sent to his dad, because I feel like there's so many people in that situation that are the point of complete breakdown and had enough and giving up and not knowing where to turn and not being able to make rash decisions, safe decisions. And I feel like every time I think about it, every time I pull it out, every time I've discussed it, I feel like I made an unconditional love decision for my son. I want him to be safe and I want him to be calm and in a safe place. And whether that's with me or somebody else, then I put him first, and that's what I will always do. And that shows to me, however tough it is and however horrible it has been for me, I will always put him first. And that makes me feel amazing. And also in regards to his dad, with him taking control as to when I'm going to see my son, he has every right to do that as much as what I do. And I'm not mad about that. I even had already seen it in a premonition and told my friend about it. Sometimes it's really hard being able to see so far into the future because you know what's coming and you know what's happening. And like when it's almost like you delay making decisions and things because yeah, that's the only thing I want to say about that. You just feel like you know it's going to happen. You've always known it's going to happen. You could literally write it down and see the patterns in, in life, and you try and run from it and hide from it, and it just causes pain. And I think like letting go, we talked today about letting go and like the relinquish of power, because that's where the struggle comes in. And giving that other person the reins. The thing that came out of my mouth today was, if you're giving somebody the keys to your car, you're telling them that they can drive. Like, you're trusting them, like whether that's a relationship or whatever. Like that's how I said it. And I use this with people that I care about, whether they be friends, partners, whatever. Like, if I give you the keys to drive my car, I trust you, and how you drive that car is your free will. Does that make sense? Like, if they drive it badly, then they don't get to drive the car again. Like, for me, giving the power to Louis' dad to make decisions, it's up to him to make decisions, to start orchestrating stuff. Like, he has just as much right as what I do. And I massively believe in free will, and I've always said, like, give them enough rope to hang themselves. Like, for me, that's always been the case. Always let people go. And I know sometimes it can feel like detachment, and people sometimes don't understand that I can live that freely, but that's only through practice and trust in myself. That's the main thing. Trust in myself. I think if you're holding on to someone so tightly, and you're in relationships of codependency, and I mean that with children, I mean like with your parents, with friends, with anybody in your life, work colleagues, whatever. If you're codependent to that person, you're basically saying that you don't trust that person, because and you're trying to orchestrate the relationship that you're having with that person. For me, that's completely fake. I want the real thing. I want the real deal, whether that's with my children, with my partner, with my friends, with whatever. That's why I speak my mind. If you can't, and I mean, sometimes I am too blunt, and I know that, and that I'm working with grace. I'm working gracefully to try and get through that. As I said, like, I'm learning just as much as what I'm teaching, and vice versa. But yeah, like, if you, how can I say it? Like, in every situation that there's a power exchange, you're learning a lesson. You're learning how to exchange with that person. You're learning what that person does when they have power. Um, we just talked about so much, and it was just so enlightening and so amazing, and I just feel like I've gone so many steps forward over the last few days, and it's all thanks to pain, really. And I do think that when you are put to your knees, you grow so incredibly quickly, and I learn so much about other people, and and yeah, and my brain is so tired, but I just need to just get this out. Yeah, and I feel like anything that happens, I try to lead with my heart, and always, even if I feel like I'm going to project, try and project through my heart. Like, even if my heart is broken, you get a truer answer, a truer voice, a true feeling through a love-based reaction. If you think logically, that's more boundaries, I feel. But then even boundaries have to be built with love, which is self-love. So yeah, I honestly just can't wait to be sharing all this stuff with everybody. And yeah, and honestly, the people that I'm meeting, and the steps that they're taking to be better people and of service to the community, and there's definitely like a humongous shift happening. And in reality, I see a lot of this power struggle. Like, who is really winning, who is really losing here? Like, victims of domestic violence that I'm speaking to are winning. Like, not in society terms, but they're winning as people, for me, for them. um and and who is really losing out of that situation? Like, for me, if someone takes advantage of you, or if someone hurts you, and like, I've done this to people, I've hurt people, and I really want to speak about my role, and the person that I used to be, because it's so valid and relevant. Because the person that is often the abuser doesn't get a chance to voice their opinions, or voice why they acted the way they do, and probably can't even really articulate where they are in their head and why they do things. And I think, like, that's one of my strongest gifts, is be able to talk about that dark place in such a way where it brings light and humour and power. Like, it's a powerful thing to be able to talk about your wrongs and right them, internally, externally. It does amazing things for your self-confidence and your self-worth. And yeah, I just I just feel so excited. Like and this is a dark time really for me. And being without my son is a dark time. He is the little light in my life, but I know that I have to go through this, and as I said, I will take every lesson and hold it tight to my chest and get everything that I can from it. And I'm using every single minute of every day to become the better mum for him, the better, get some money in the bank and work. I've not stopped working since he's left. And when things die down and when things return to some sort of equilibrium, then I will be in a better place and I will be a better mum for him. And yeah, I just feel, and I will be more ahead with Anchor and all the other projects that I've got going on. And yeah, just if you are in a dark place right now, if you are a bit stagnant, if you are sitting there like the hangman, then fucking look around. Use it. You will never, ever, ever get that chance again to sit there and work on yourself. Like it just doesn't happen. Like time like this doesn't happen. I haven't had this kind of time to myself for... I've had 3 days to myself now, 3 whole days to myself with no distractions apart from working. And I haven't had that for 7 years. Over 7 years, I think. 7 years. Like, I get to spend my time doing whatever I've wanted to do, and all I've done is meditate and work on myself. Like, I will be a completely different person. Another completely different person. I feel like I'm walking through so many doors, so many... Yeah. And I can't stress enough, like, if you are really struggling at the moment and you are going through a dark time and you do feel like you've got a noose around your neck, it is an illusion. It's a fear-based illusion, like... And the same if you're trying to martyr on and soldier on to a point where you're crippling yourself. And I know so many people out there that are, for the money, for the status, for all the reasons why people go through like massive burnout and overwhelm. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Time is infinite. Time is an illusion. I can't stress enough the time spent or wasted trying to, how can I say, keep to expectations of what we're meant to be, that's even a power struggle. So many power struggles in our lives, and it is literally all an illusion. Like go what's coming back round, I'm starting to channel now. When you're driving somebody else's car, if someone gives you the keys and you're driving somebody else's car and you drive it badly and smash it, like, who loses? Who misses out? Like, you're losing that person's trust, aren't you? You're probably going to have to pay for the car, like... And so many people will hear about it, that you crash somebody else's car. They'll not let you drive theirs. Like, who's really winning and losing and stuff. Like the language around these kind of situations and topics, and the way we point fingers and all this kind of stuff, it just, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a reaction. Like, reactions are completely normal, you know, like when that first bite of pain comes and you lose your temper and you start to cry, or like, that's completely normal human reaction. Like, I'm not saying like you just have to go, yeah, okay, let's fine, let's take this shit, like, I'm not saying that, but I just mean how you deal with the process, how you learn the lesson, how you sit back gracefully and let time and space move shit for you. And like, be grateful, be so grateful, be so grateful. Lead with the heart. It's powerful, 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 powerful energy from the heart. Night.